Now from Marshalltown, where the South African Police Service Commissioner Elias Mawela is on the ground going through one of these hijacked buildings in Johannesburg CBD. These are live visuals as the police are making their way through those various apartments within those buildings. As we can see, a lot of products that perhaps are being sold on our South African streets. These perhaps look like some of those products that we see being sold at the robots of various intersections on South Africa's roads. Let's just chat to our reporter, Hloni Mthimkhulu, who is on the ground and inside one of these hijacked buildings this evening. Hloni, you are there on the ground. Talk to us. What are you seeing?
Yeah, Abigail, I think it's important to point out just the shacks that we are seeing next to each other. I know that with the Marshalltown fire that they had said that there were shacks inside, shacks over the 5 floors and including in the basement, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. And we spoke to one of the men that is occupying the informal settlements that are here, and he says that they pay 100 rand to someone and they get electricity and they get water as well. So it is interesting that even though the building itself doesn't have electricity, but we do see that there are illegal electricity connections. We are going to try, once we're out of this room, and as you can see, he sells goods, and he's been asked what the goods, where he gets the goods from, where he is from as well, and how he ended up here, and also just to show documentation as well. But we will show you some of the rest of this building as well.
Hloni, earlier we chatted about what perhaps could have sparked the fire in the other building. You did mention that you are seeing illegal electricity connections. Are we perhaps seeing any open fires, any use of paraffin or petrol or any substances that are prone to us seeing these sort of fires ignite?
Yeah, so I'm seeing there's a 2-plate stove here next to in this house that we're in now. So you can imagine what the possibilities are when you see a 2-plate stove in an environment like this, where connections are not safe and there are actually legal connections. So that would be a fire hazard. And actually, when we did come in here, the police did remark about them and how anything could happen even at this point. So we have been told to be careful as well. There are wires all over. I'm looking up now. There's various wires all over the place here, and they all look very haphazardly connected. But we're going to try and walk in the opposite direction if we can. There's a lot happening here, Abigail, so yeah, I'm just going to try and show you some of the rest of this.
So the people living in the building are obviously shocked at seeing the South African Police Service move in this evening. What is the plan of action here? Is this just a walkthrough where police are sort of investigating the conditions of these buildings? Will the police be removing these people from this building? What's the plan of action?
Maybe we'll just get an answer. We are next to the police commissioner, so we can just try and get a sense. Commissioner, you live on ENC. Just maybe quickly, what is the plan of action now that we're seeing what we're seeing now? And we're confirming what would have happened at the other building in Marshalltown around the informal settlements that have been settled into this building.
Yeah, it's one of the buildings which have said, it is ownerless or abandoned, derelict, and then people, they put together these informal structures in here. And you can see that this is a time bomb. It can burn at any given time. And majority of the people who are housed here are mostly foreign nationals. Well, some of them, they do have the passport. We have checked, but these ones, they don't have. And there is a certain guy called Mkhize, whom they are paying rental to. So it will be our responsibility to can track down that Mkhize, so that we begin to understand who is Mkhize, who appointed him as a caretaker of this building and so forth. But with the assistance of the GFIS, it's a component within the COJ. They will assist us in terms of getting the real owner of the building, and the investigation will start from there.
Just also in terms of the safety aspect, I mean, we've been trying to walk through this narrow hall to get to the other side, and it's nearly impossible to walk through. How much of a fire hazard and a safety hazard is all of this?
Yeah, I can tell you here, if one Mukhuku can caught fire, then we're going to have another disaster. And again, look at the manner in which they've connected the electricity here. It's also hazard on itself. So you can see here, if we don't work together with other stakeholders so that we remove these things. We completely remove these things, and the owners of this building, they take full responsibility in terms of maintaining and repair. Or if it is ownerless, let it be expropriated by the council or the government, and they see how best can they utilize this building. But the manner in which people are staying here, surely it's another time bomb.
And Commissioner, I know that there have been questions raised about moving the people that had occupied the other building. Do you have capacity today? Are you able to move the people that we are seeing, the tenants that we are seeing here today? Is this something that you'll be doing this evening?
No, those who are not committing crime or contravening any law, we'll leave them here. But those who are committing crime, definitely, if we are going to arrest them, we have the capacity to can arrest anyone who's committing crime, even including those who are undocumented. You can see with me, behind me, we also have immigration officers, so they will easily process those ones. But those whom we find that they are not contravening any law, we'll still leave them here. For example, those who are in possession of the passport, the South Africans who are also staying here, we'll leave them here until such time that other government departments who are responsible for alternative accommodation, they also do their part.
Okay, so just for clarity, they will be left here. Those who are documented and those who aren't committing any crimes will be left in this building in the state that it is. You don't have the power to move them, even though they are staying in this. These are terrible conditions that they are staying in.
Yeah, definitely, because that is outside the SAF's mandate. This is not our building, and we can't forcibly remove them from this building. And again, if you want to remove people from these structures like this or in this building, there is a legal process which you need to follow. So we can't just do it willy-nilly. So those who are responsible for those tasking, they will follow the law and ensure that people are properly removed from this building.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. So, Abigail, we are in a very narrow passage. So it's a bit difficult to move around, and it's just, as I said, it's not really safe.
Yeah, shocking conditions indeed, Hloni. I think let me leave you to maneuver the room and figure out what is happening there. We will perhaps check in with you a little bit later just to get a further update from you. But these are live visuals coming to us from one of the hijacked buildings in Marshalltown in Johannesburg's CBD. As you can see, shocking living conditions, people living in very close proximity to the next. There is open electricity lines. We've seen open stoves. So very, very dangerous and hazardous circumstances. Hloni chatting to the police commissioner and him saying that the South African police don't have the authority to remove those people living in these conditions at this point, as it is not part of their sort of mandate. But we will check in a little bit later with Hloni, who will continue to give us rolling updates as to the South African Police's Operation Shanela, currently taking place in the Johannesburg CBD.